We spent 2 months together on the ship and you become quite a close community.
Will you find a way in?
Good.
It's very nice to see everybody again back at this. Having spent 2 months at sea with them all, it was quite abrupt getting off the ship and everybody dispersing all over the world, and it's very nice to have them all back again.
Tomorrow, after 2 months at sea, Expedition 41 comes to an end. During this time, we've collected over 2 kilometers of sediments. This records the water that flowed out of the Mediterranean into the Atlantic 8 to 4 million years ago.
Today, the Gibraltar Strait is the only Mediterranean Atlantic gateway, but there used to be at least 2 other connections, one in Morocco and the other in Spain. As these closed, the saltiness of the Mediterranean increased dramatically, forming a 1.5 kilometre thick layer of salt on the seafloor. The cores we collected tell us about this ancient connection and the response of the Atlantic to the formation of a salt giant. Hello, my name is Rachel Flecker. I'm a paleoclimatologist based at Bristol University in the UK, and I was the co-chief scientist on Expedition 401. So what we're doing at the moment is sampling the cores that we collected in the expedition. So these are cores, this one actually comes from just south of Portugal in Spain, in the Gulf of Cadiz. It's called Site 1610. We're in the Pliocene here, so we're about 5 million years old, and we're taking samples at very specific points all down the core in order to go away and do a lot of analyses on these and work out what was going on at the time.
So the goal of the sampling party is to get all of the material taken for shipboard scientists so that they can start on their analyses very, very quickly and get a head start on research within their moratorium period, where only shipboard scientists are allowed to work with this core material.
We have 1 year to work on these samples, so the challenge starts now, and I think we're all very excited about this.
How many samples are we taking this week?
16,000, which sounds like a lot and actually is not that many, because we are doing a lot of sharing of samples. So samples that are being taken by one person to do one analysis and then passed on to another, so that a lot of the analyses are all done on the same sample, which means we understand much better exactly how the different analyses fit together.
Do you know who that sample is for specifically?
Yes, this is for the other co-chief scientist, Emmanuel Ducassou.
Good morning, I'm Emmanuel Ducassou. I'm the co-chief of the Expedition 401. Me in particular, I'm gonna do the grain size of almost all the sites, not everything, but almost, to characterize the facies and the current, especially the current speed. We hope to see when there is an action of the bottom current in front. And I'm going to also work on the clay mineral assemblages to know where the water come from when they are transported. So if they come from the river around in the Atlantic or in the Albertan Sea, or if they are coming from the Mediterranean Sea.
So if we talk about Emmanuel's samples, on the ship we didn't have anything that could tell us what the grain size was. So literally how big the particles were in the sediment. And so what she's going to do with these ones is disaggregate them. If I pick a bit up here, so this is what it looks like now. It's fundamentally mud, or it looks like mud. Woo, caught it. And she disaggregates it and puts it in a machine, which essentially works out what the distribution of the different size of particles in there. And that wasn't something that we could do on the ship. So a lot of the analyses that are being done now are things that were not possible to do on the ship.
This one?
Wow.
One of the rather nice things this week is we're divided into 2 shifts, but it's not the same as the ones on the ship. So we're working together with people that I haven't worked so closely together with before. I'm on the morning shift at the moment, so we are getting an early breakfast and then starting work at 7:30. And we'll finish around 2 o'clock and then try not to take too many breaks during that. So we've got some snacks and coffee and stuff to keep us going. We'll have a half-hour crossover with the afternoon shift. And then we're free, so we've got time to go and get a big meal and then do it all again from 7:30 tomorrow.
We have little sample bags, and the research projects require taking some material from these cores for further study in the laboratories. And so we are going in and following the instructions and the depth intervals. We're taking little volumes of the mud and sediment and storing it where they're going to be shipped to the other labs for work. This is a sample for Javier, who's working right over here. And he's identified certain areas that had interesting sedimentological features. And so I'm to do some analyses on what these sediments look like in more detail. We're doing well here, we're making good progress, and probably by the end of the week we've gotten everything that we came here for. Day one was great. We were pulling 2 shifts here of 7 hours each. So at the end of the day, it was quite tiring after being on your feet all day and moving these cores around and trying to cut into them. They're a little bit hard. But it was nice to see everybody from the expedition again and connect with people we haven't seen in a long time. It'll be nice to get through all this work. It's quite a lot of work, as a lot of parts of these expeditions are. But then this is going to be the launching point for a lot of our research projects that we've been waiting to start doing now for months.
Some people have already worked on samples that we collected on board, so it's really nice to brainstorm all together.
We already have some results from some of the organic geochemistry. And so those look really exciting, and there's some other scientists who are going to plan the research based on those results. So there's going to be a lot of integrated collaborative work, and it may come together all in the end only later when we have all the pieces of the puzzle.
We saw a whole load of very interesting impact of the changes in the Mediterranean gateway in the Atlantic, which we had hoped to see, but it was very nice to actually see them. And now the devil is in the detail, so lots of what we're trying to do is to refine the age model so we know exactly when in time. We're talking 8 to 4 million years ago, so a long time. We should be able to correlate within 20,000 years, and probably if we're really lucky in particular places, we should be able to correlate on a sort of plus or minus 3,000 year basis. Once that is resolved, we can do some very, very high resolution work on exactly what changing the gateway between the Mediterranean and Atlantic does, not only to the Atlantic, but also to the global ocean. So we've done Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're now on Thursday. This is the 4th of July. It's also the UK election day, so there's other stuff going on as well. And we are going to keep going. We've got until the end of Sunday. So it's kind of difficult to say quite where we are. One of the things we've chosen to do is some of the harder samples, so the rock, the ones that are properly cemented rather than the soft, squishy ones. Patty's been doing some of that. How's it been going?
It's difficult, it takes some extra time. The cool thing about these cores is that they're very interesting, and everybody has very specific ways that they want their samples to be extracted. And so we have to be really careful, make sure we do everything the way that they want it. And so we're trying to make sure we do that.
This is the graph, this is the straight line graph of what we should be doing every day in order to take all the samples in the time available. And we were doing on track, and we were slightly better. And yesterday, because we hit the rather difficult samples, we're now slightly under. So we've got to make up that time. The pressure is on.
Yeah. I've had a lot of coffee.
Just got to keep going.
I think we're going to do it though.
Okay, good. Everyone except you.
There's about 500 samples left, so it should take, I don't know, a couple hours of the afternoon shift to finish that off, which is great. It's a testament to everybody's really hard work and efficient sampling. Well, we still got samples to take, right?
Let's get it done.
Yeah. Final push.
Finishing.
Very nice.
Well done.
Well done. Yeah.
You're done? Well done.
Yeah, working with Rachel is just great because I learn each minute of the way of doing, the way of being with people, of way of seeing this adventure, of seeing the science. So I think for me it was probably the great experience was to do the expeditions, but doing with her, it's maybe the best things I can expect. So it's one of my best experience, I would say.
So the expedition has been amazing in all sorts of ways and so much better, but a large part of that has been because of the skill, the expertise, the standards, the rigour that she has brought to the science. I know that going on from here we can just fly with the science that she has helped to oversee. I could not have asked for a better scientist, but also a lovelier person, and boy does that matter. It's not easy necessarily making the decisions that you have to make for being a co-chief, and she's helped me every step of the way, and the decisions that we have made together are better for having had her input always.
Her enthusiasm is contagious, and she's probably one of the greatest persons I know. So. And I said that before the sail, but I said the same now, and maybe with the stronger words. I mean, I'm more convinced now than before to sail.